What is up, you guys? Today I want to talk about something that I personally struggled with a lot, and I want to give you a few ways just to fast track your results to get to success in this area. I have had a lot of times in my life where I felt like I wasn't as connected to Creator, Source, the universe, whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it God, we're all talking about the same thing. And it felt really lonely, dark, hard. I was frustrated. I felt alone. I didn't feel like I had clarity on anything. I felt like my psychic messages and my psychic hearing was off and I wasn't getting in any of these messages. Like, you know that little voice that you hear in the back of your mind when you ask a question and it's like the voice of your conscience? That's what I mean. So that's actually psychic hearing. I felt like this was shut off and I felt like I was just really in a shitty place. I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible, and it felt like the more that I tried, the least successful that I was. And it was just very, 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 very frustrating. So now, every single day, I feel that connection that exists there with the universe, God, Source, Creator, whatever you want to call it. I've actually gotten myself to a point where it's something that's stable in my life. It's not something that I have to work on anymore, and it's not something that I lose. When I am not feeling it as much, I notice it, and then I put one of these things into action. It gets me right back on track. So here are a few main things that I have always used to connect deeper into that God energy. The first one is a workout. You want this to be something where you have high intensity but no distractions, and you're still alone, and you're able to hear that consciousness. You're able to hear that voice, because at the end of the day, that's your main goal. So something like running has always been a very, very good tool to keep in your arsenal. If you're able to get your weights workout when you're training in the gym at that high of an intensity, then you can definitely go for that. That's going to be very beneficial for you. But you don't want to do something with other people. You don't want to be working out with a friend. You don't want to be doing a workout class where you have to listen to the instructor. You want to be able to do something that is more in your flow. You could do something like yoga though, even though that is something where you're in a class with other people and you're listening to the instructor. I find since it's more inward, depending on the instructor, this can be an option, but it's not the best. Ultimately, you want something high intensity that you're going to have a lot of dopamine after being released when you're actually done this. The next one is solitude. For me, this looks like journaling, silence, and having a very, very clean space. The more that your environment is clean around you, the better that you're able to connect to things that actually matter, because of course we're always connected. It's the first universal law, the law of divine oneness. But when you have all of this clutter and all of these distractions in your environment, it makes it really easy for you to lose sight of that and lose that clarity. You want to start with your physical environment because that's something that you can control, and then you can go into the spiritual environment afterwards with less clutter from what you have around. If you can't control the physical environment that you have in your home, I remember there was situations and chapters in my life where that wasn't really something I had control over. I would go outside, I would go in my car, I would go in a confined area where I could be at peace and I could really, really connect to myself. If you're into this, not a lot of people are, but personally I am a theta healer, so going up into theta, connecting with Creator, and doing some practices that release your negative energy is definitely going to be something that helps clear up that debris in your spiritual space. That way you have better connection to be able to hear what Creator is telling you at that point in time. Another one that I really, really love to do is fasting. So obviously not everyone is in the right situation to do this. I'm pregnant right now. I definitely can't be doing a fast of any sort. When I wasn't, I would fast from anywhere to 24 to 72 hours. At the 72-hour mark, which is 3 days, you're getting the most good out of your fast, because that's actually when you have your cells revert to eating themselves. So if there's any cells that are bad, cancer is very, very weak, but it multiplies very quickly. And it also feeds off of sugar in the body. The moment that you take away all of the food coming into the body, then it will take away all of the bad, weak cells and it will start killing them off. After 72 hours, this is definitely what you want to aim for a fast. If it's your first fast, I wouldn't recommend going all in unless you have the discipline to be able to sustain it, because you don't want to create something where you end up failing. You're going to end up amassing more karmic debt. And if you're already not feeling too connected to creator, you don't want to do something that's going to bring you even more steps back. You want this to be a win for you, and you want to set it up as something that's challenging but attainable, that you're able to hold your word to, and that you're actually able to hit the finish line. Because when you hit the finish line, you're going to get even more validation from creator, and you're going to be able to amplify that connection. Another bonus one that I didn't write on my list when I was actually thinking about this video, but it just came to me through making the video, is doing a cold plunge. I find that anything that is a near-death experience is a beautiful thing to get you connected to creator, especially doing a cold plunge. Around here in the east coast of Canada, we have very, very cold winters, and our beaches, they actually get to a point of freezing over. So what we would do is, before they would completely freeze over, we would go in and there would be like ice blocks and stuff. We would go into the ocean, and then your first goal should be around a minute. Ultimately, your goal should be around 3 minutes when you're going into a cold plunge. You can also do this in your bathtub if you live in a warmer area. That's something that you can definitely do at home. Or if you have a nice spot in nature, that's even better, because you're adding in the impact that nature has on you. So those are my main 3 ways, and a little bonus tip to always keep me connected to creator and keep me coming back. No matter what season of life I'm in, these tips are something that you're able to apply regardless. Obviously, not all of them, depending on what chapter of life you're in, are going to be useful for you, but no matter what chapter you're in, at least one of these is going to be something that will bring you back to center and get you back into that beautiful, divine, connected energy.